Hi, welcome to our next This Is Us chat, and today we're going to be talking to Dr. Kate Connelly, who was our expedition doctor for the volcano. Kate is juggling a lot at the moment. She's got a 2- and a 4-year-old, and she's currently married and accompanied while doing shifts as a GP. So we're recording this after a long day. So Kate, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today. And I suppose that the first question is, how are you doing? How are you doing coping, juggling it all?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's all right. It's actually ramping up at work a bit. It's been much busier the last couple of weeks, particularly on our emergency list. I also do some out-of-hours shifts that have been really busy as well. But you know, we've been really lucky in that we've got a great team at work, and we're all well here. So yeah, we're okay. Thanks for asking.
Good. Well, so tell me, or tell our listeners a bit more about your background and also your connection to the military.
I'm a GP in Oxford. I developed a keen interest in expedition medicine, which is why I ended up being expedition doctor for FWC. It stemmed really from the time when I did a master's in vectorology and parasitology in the Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine, and during that time I developed a real interest in just travel medicine in general. And initially with my career, I've always been quite career driven, and actually I went down an acute path. I've got quite a lot of experience in anaesthetics, but because of family things, really, it made me kind of change my career path and go more towards GP, which is a much more flexible option. I'm still an advanced life support instructor, so I kind of still keep my hand in, I suppose. And I'm currently just doing part-time work in Oxford. I am connected to the military through my husband. He's currently serving, and because I've always really loved being a doctor, being part of the military community wasn't ever really part of my plan. And I suppose that kind of way of life has definitely fallen into my lap just because of the person that I've fallen in love with.
So tell us more about being an expedition doctor. How was it, and also the training going up to it? I know you went on the wilderness medic course. How did that go?
So that was really great. I met a team of incredibly interesting people. It was a fantastic course. Did it down in Corfe Castle. It was kind of a residential course for 5 days. And it set me up with a lot of skills and competencies that I used. It's a really practical course, and I was using those when I was away. Forces Life Challenge, it was after I spoke to you, I suppose, and in the ethos of the FWC was the thing that really inspired me. And when it was just an idea and you were telling me about it, I was really keen to get involved. It was a bit of a disaster timing-wise, because actually my husband was just moving out, and he was due to start a job 2 days after we left. So childcare, wasn't great. It was fine. I've got a supportive network. But it was a bit stressful beforehand. I was just trying to park the kids off left, right, and centre. But one good thing was that I've got amazing. I'm so lucky because we are living separately. I've got amazing. I'm gonna have to go. She's screaming.
Is that Luke? No worries. No worries. Go.
My washing machine's going.
So Kate's back, had to run off because our little one woke up. But yeah, Kate, tell us then, the volcano, where actually the expedition, there's a lot of pressure. It's quite a high risk expedition. So tell me, how you dealt with all that.
I suppose the biggest situation for me, the biggest concern for me was, like you say, the pressure that I felt, probably we both felt really, for safety of the whole team. And there were quite a lot of sticky situations there. People, I think we all, 100% of us, experience some degree of altitude sickness, whether that's just headache, nausea, feeling a bit dizzy. but some of the team members became really quite unwell, and we had a few medevacs, and as a result of, you know, having to get someone off the mountain, this is a group of women that train insanely hard for this goal and are really focused and really, really want it. And to be the person that has to say, I'm really sorry, but you can't do it, medically, you know, this isn't safe, that was really, really hard. But I actually think that, you know, we came together, we managed it well, and the ultimate goal of this was, yeah, to get the FWC flag to top of the volcano, but it was to ensure that we did it in a safe way. And whilst it may have been difficult personally for some of the team members that didn't make it to have to step back, the thing is the fact that we all came down the mountain. It was a really stressful situation in certain parts, but we all came down the mountain well with no long-term problems from it. So yeah.
Yeah.
And I suppose also as well gave me a confidence boost, and certainly having to be past the comfort zone professionally has made me feel more confident in my day-to-day job.
Yeah, I think, you know, for me, being sort of the expert leader, if you like, it was a lot of pressure, and for you to have, you know, had a lot of confidence in you, and like you said, the main priority was that everybody came off the mountain safely and could continue their lives with no long-term injuries. So yeah, there was some really tough decisions up there, but the team were, you know, absolutely incredible. And just, I suppose, to lighten it up, I remember having those pressures of all those decisions, I was really struggling to sleep. And I remember you looked at me like, Kate, Heather, you're exhausted. And I was like, yeah, I'm just really struggling to sleep at the altitude. And, you know, I went to the doctor, I was thinking, oh, you know, she's going to come up with some radical plan to get me to sleep. She said, I've got just the thing, and pulls out a face mask and sprays my pillow with lavender spray. And I remember thinking, not quite what I was expecting. I'd never had a face mask before.
It's a holistic approach, Heather. And also, your packing list, I have to say, was absolutely horrendous. There was literally no room for anything nice on there. So I just didn't really go on the packing list, which is why we ended up with lavender mist and face masks and stuff. And I actually think it was morale.
Yeah, I did sleep well that night, I've got to say. And yeah, and I think your reputation of being kind of such a good doctor definitely got out, because when we were in the base camps, all these men, let's say men, were coming saying, oh, we hear you've got a doctor, and so we're getting more and more people coming. And I remember our guides, our Bolivian guides, were giggling and chatting in Spanish, and we were like, what are they laughing about? And yeah, it turned out that everybody fancied our hot doctor, so they were like, we've got a headache.
I was deploying the resting bitch face, seriously deploying the resting bitch face. And I don't think it was that. I think they were all delirious from the altitude, and that's what actually.
Oh, very modest. So it's Mental Health Awareness Week, and so we're wanting to shine a light on the positive aspects of physical exercise and the outdoors. And I know on the expedition you conducted a pilot study, research. Just tell us briefly just a bit about what you did.
So as part of my role in the expedition, I mean, I was expedition doctor, as we've just mentioned, but I had a couple of other hats. So I was also in charge of kind of medical education, so a bit of education about altitude and medical conditions that you may experience when we're on the volcano. And also my third hat was research, and we were part of 2 research studies. So one of them was looking at team working dynamics in extreme environments, and that was a NASA study that we got involved with. The other study that we did was one that I actually developed with the null hypothesis that physical-based activity, particularly team-based physical activity, can improve mental well-being, generally, particularly resilience and loneliness. And it was a longitudinal cohort study. We did data collection prior to going, whilst we were away on the volcano every day, and then afterwards. The results are really positive, actually. Generally found that once the expedition had been completed, so the results 6 weeks after, it showed that most of the team members felt much more confident in themselves. They were more decisive. They were more likely to reach out to the community around them. They also found that individuals are less likely to criticise themselves and blame themselves for things. So really, really positive and really exciting, because I think that we showed through this study that there's a definite positive impact on mental well-being. And so for us, we really looked at resilience markers, because we need to be resilient away all the time, and it can be really lonely. The problem with the study is that it was such a small sample size, and also it's saying this intervention works long term. So what I'd be really keen to do, and what we're going to try and do, is to push the research out a bit further, and then hopefully in the next year or two, with a bigger expedition, when a larger group of women come along, be able to follow that and really get some more conclusive data.
Oh, well, thanks so much, Kate. I'm really looking forward to, I've got lots of ideas for future expeditions. And yeah, really looking forward to working with you on those again, and the research as well. And it just leaves me to say thank you so much, and stay safe, and yeah, love to you all.
Oh, thanks so much, Heather. See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.